When the divine speaks, it rarely shouts. It whispers through your silence. It's the moment when the world becomes still and you suddenly feel something pressing upon your heart. A voice without sound, a message without words. God does not warn to frighten you. He warns to awaken you. And when he says, "This is my second last warning," it means there is still mercy, still grace, but not forever. You have been guided before, but you ignored it. You felt that inner pull, that nudge to change, yet you waited. You said, "Tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll be better." But what if tomorrow never arrives the same way again? The divine warnings are not about fear. They are invitations to return to your truth, to stop drifting in distraction, to stop pretending you're fine when your soul is whispering for help. When God says, "This is your second last warning," he is not speaking to your ears. He is speaking to your spirit, reminding you that the time for excuses has ended. When the divine speaks, it rarely speaks through thunder. It does not come wrapped in lightning or in the noise of chaos. It speaks through silence, through stillness, through that quiet moment when everything in you slows down and you suddenly feel a pull in your heart that you cannot explain. That is how God communicates. And yet, most people never hear it because they are too busy listening to everything else. They are surrounded by distractions, by voices, by fears, by desires. They move so fast that even when heaven whispers, they are already 10 steps ahead, chasing something that does not matter. When God says, "This is my second last warning," he is not trying to scare you. He is trying to slow you down, to stop you from destroying what he built in you. There is something sacred about the silence before change. It is in that silence where you are given a chance to listen. But listening requires humility. It requires stillness. It requires you to put down the noise of the world and open your heart to the whisper that comes from beyond understanding. Many people think warnings from God come like punishments, like storms, like disasters. But no, the first warnings are soft. They come through feelings, through intuition, through small moments that make you uncomfortable, through people who cross your path and say something that feels too precise to be coincidence. Those are the divine signs that call you back. But when you ignore them, they get louder. When you keep pretending not to hear, God turns the whisper into a storm because that's the only way to get your attention. The voice that calls in silence is not there to frighten you. It's there to awaken you. It is a voice of love, not of anger. It is a call to remember what you once promised to become. Each of us carries a divine potential, a sacred design that we are meant to live out. But somewhere along the way, we drift. We chase what sparkles instead of what shines. We trade wisdom for comfort, purpose for pleasure, awareness for approval. And then, when everything starts to feel empty, we call it bad luck. But it's not luck, it's alignment. God's warnings come when you've drifted too far from your alignment. They come not to punish you, but to pull you back to where your soul belongs. Every soul that hears a warning is blessed, because it means God has not given up on you. He is still trying to reach you. He is still trying to remind you that you are not lost. You have just forgotten the way. There's a difference between being lost and being disconnected. Lost means you don't know where you are. Disconnected means you know exactly where you are, but you can't feel the connection anymore. When God speaks and you feel that strange restlessness inside, it's not confusion, it's a signal. It's heaven tugging at your soul saying, remember why you're here. The second last warning means mercy still exists. It means you still have time to listen, to change, to realign, to stop pretending that you're okay when you're not. You know that feeling when you look in the mirror and see your own eyes, but feel a distance, like the reflection doesn't match who you are anymore. That is the soul's cry for return. That is the moment when the divine voice echoes inside of you saying, you are drifting too far. Every time you ignore that moment, you make it harder to come back. Every time you silence the inner voice with noise, entertainment, or denial, you make the whisper fade. But even if the whisper fades, God will not. He will wait. He will wait until you are ready to hear again. This is the nature of divine patience. It's infinite, but not without consequence. The universe always balances what you ignore. So when you fail to listen to the call of silence, life starts to rearrange itself to force you to stop. Sometimes that means loss, sometimes confusion, sometimes pain. Pain is the language of awakening. It is the final attempt to pull you back when you've ignored everything else. And that's why God warns. He doesn't want to take away, he wants to restore. But he cannot restore what you refuse to face. The voice of God speaks in patterns. When you are too busy, he sends pauses. When you are too proud, he sends humbling. When you are too comfortable, he sends disruption. These are not punishments. These are mirrors. Divine mirrors that show you where you've gone blind. Every difficulty you face carries a message inside it. And the more you resist reading that message, the more intense the situation becomes. When God says, "This is my second last warning," it means that time is shifting. It means you are entering the final stages of choice. You can no longer drift without direction. You must either rise or remain asleep. But here is the truth. The silence that calls you is never harsh. It's gentle. It waits for you to notice it. It's like standing by a quiet river at dawn. You can hear the flow if you stand still enough. You can feel the current if you stop moving. But the moment you start running, you lose it. The divine voice works the same way. It is always there, but only the still can hear it. You are not being punished for your distractions. You are being reminded that peace requires presence. And presence requires surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means giving in to the higher plan that you cannot yet understand. The reason many people never change, even after hearing a warning, is because they confuse surrender with weakness. They think listening to divine guidance means losing control. But in truth, you were never in control. You were only in charge of awareness. The moment you surrender, you return to balance. You return to that quiet trust that says, "I may not know what happens next, but I know I am being guided." That trust is the foundation of all transformation. When you ignore the call of silence, you live through noise, and noise creates illusion. You begin to mistake movement for progress, attention for love, validation for purpose. You start to chase outcomes instead of alignment, and soon life feels heavy. The laughter feels forced. The achievements feel empty. That emptiness is not failure. It's the voice of God echoing inside of you, waiting to be heard again. Every time you feel that quiet sadness for no reason, that is not depression, that is disconnection. That is your higher self asking you to slow down, to listen again, to remember what matters. God's second last warning is a gift, a reminder that time is precious, that your journey is sacred, and that you were not born to wander endlessly. You were born to awaken. You were born to hear, to see, to return. The greatest tragedy is not death, it's living without awareness of your divine connection. And every warning from God is a chance to prevent that tragedy. It's a doorway back to your own soul. But to walk through it, you must be honest. You must be willing to admit that you've ignored the signs, that you've been distracted, that you've built walls around your spirit. Honesty is the key that unlocks divine guidance. When you admit that you've gone silent to your soul, you begin to hear again. Many people pray for answers, but never make space for silence. They ask God to speak, but their hearts are full of noise. And so, when the answer comes, they miss it. The divine speaks not in the language of words, but in the rhythm of stillness. The silence that calls you is not empty. It's full of meaning. When you meditate, when you breathe, when you detach from the constant movement of the world, you begin to feel the pulse of that higher frequency. It doesn't come with force. It comes with gentleness. It comes like a feather landing on still water. And if your inner world is turbulent, you will not notice it. The reason God warns before he acts is because he wants transformation, not destruction. The universe is built on mercy first, justice later. Mercy is the whisper. Justice is the echo that follows if you ignore it. Right now, if you feel a deep call to change, that's mercy. If you feel uncomfortable where you are, that's mercy. If your plans are breaking apart, that's mercy. Because something higher is trying to realign your path. You are being called home, not physically, but spiritually. The divine is saying, remember me before you remember the world. Sometimes you don't realize how far you've drifted until God stops everything around you. When you lose people, when opportunities disappear, when the noise of life fades, that's not rejection. That's redirection. He takes away what keeps you deaf so that you can finally hear. And when you begin to hear again, you start to understand that everything you feared losing was only keeping you from seeing. Every door that closed was protecting you from walking into something that would have cost your peace. Every delay was a message saying, slow down, you are not ready yet. So when the voice in silence calls you now, do not ignore it, sit with it, let it speak. You may not understand every word, but you will feel its truth. It will feel like calmness wrapped in urgency, like peace that demands action. That's how you know it's divine. Because fear pushes you, but truth pulls you. The divine voice pulls you gently toward what's right. It doesn't rush, it redirects. There's a saying that the greatest distance in life is between knowing and doing. Many people know what they need to change, but they keep waiting for a sign that feels louder. But the truth is, the louder signs only come when the softer ones have been ignored. If you feel this message, it means you are standing in that sacred space between warning and grace. You are being offered one more chance to listen before the consequences begin to speak on behalf of the divine. So listen now, not with your ears, but with your soul. Pay attention to what is happening around you. The patterns, the repeated lessons, the moments that make you pause. Those are not random, they are divine communication. When God speaks twice, the second time means urgency. It means you've been chosen for correction, not condemnation. It means he sees something in you that you have stopped seeing in yourself. You may have made mistakes. You may have drifted far. But that doesn't mean you've been disqualified from grace. The fact that you can still feel the call means the connection still exists. The second last warning is the proof that you are still loved, still guided, still worth the divine effort. So do not run from it. Don't silence it with distraction. Don't numb it with excuses. Sit in your stillness and ask, what is God trying to show me? Then listen. The answer may not come instantly, but it will arrive. The voice that calls in silence will never abandon you. It may step back when you refuse to listen, but it will always wait. It is patient because it knows who you are beyond your confusion. It knows that within your chaos lies peace, within your fear lies courage, within your weakness lies divine strength. All you have to do is remember. Remember that the voice is not outside of you. It's within you. The divine doesn't shout from the heavens, it whispers from your heart. So when you hear, "This is my second last warning," understand, it is not the sound of punishment, it is the sound of love trying one last time. It is mercy speaking before consequence. It is light trying to reach you before darkness teaches you. You have been given another chance to turn inward, to reconnect with the truth, to realign with what your soul already knows. You are not too late, but you are being reminded that time is sacred. Every breath you take is a gift, every heartbeat is a message, every sunrise is an opportunity to start again. The silence that calls you now is not empty, it's filled with purpose. It's saying, listen, reflect, return, because soon, the silence may no longer whisper, It may become a mirror that shows you what happens when the call is ignored. So stand still, listen deeply. Let your heart remember what your mind has forgotten. The divine voice is not somewhere distant. It is right here now, calling softly inside your awareness. You still have time, but not forever. That is your warning. That is your invitation. That is love disguised as awakening. There are moments in life when you look back and realize that every sign was there. Every whisper, every redirection, every discomfort, it was all trying to guide you. But at that time, you didn't see it. You were too busy asking for clarity while ignoring what clarity already looked like. This is the burden of ignoring the signs. It is not that life stops speaking to you, it's that you stop listening. God doesn't abandon people. People abandon awareness. The truth is, most warnings don't come in the form of words. They come through feelings, through experiences, through patterns that repeat until you pay attention. When you keep walking the same path that leads you nowhere, when you keep attracting the same type of pain, when you keep losing the same kind of peace, that is not coincidence. That is correction. The universe does not speak in randomness. Everything that happens carries a message within it. The pain is the messenger. The delay is the messenger. The emptiness is the messenger. But when you are numb to meaning, you call these moments bad luck. You complain instead of learning. You question instead of listening. You fight the very thing that was meant to heal you. The burden of ignoring the signs is that life has to keep raising its voice. At first, it whispers through intuition. Then it speaks through patterns. Then it shouts through pain. And when that still doesn't work, it begins to remove things, people, opportunities, peace, direction, until you are forced to face yourself. That's how divine guidance works. When God says, "This is my second last warning," He is saying, "I've shown you enough times already. I've given you enough hints. I've protected you even when you didn't see it. Now it's time to choose." Look back at your life. Think of all those times when something didn't work out, when someone left, when you were delayed, when you felt an unexplainable resistance in your plans. You called it a setback. But what if it was protection? What if that was God saving you from something you couldn't see yet? We often cry over doors that close, not realizing they were never meant to open. Every closed door is mercy in disguise. Every loss is a message that says, "This was not your direction." But when you ignore that message, when you keep forcing what's not aligned, life becomes heavier. It is easy to miss divine communication because it doesn't speak to your mind, it speaks to your awareness. The mind seeks logic. The soul understands energy. When something feels wrong, it usually is. When you feel drained around certain people, it's not your imagination. It's your spirit reacting to imbalance. But when you ignore that feeling, you invite suffering, and then you wonder why peace feels distant. God gave you intuition as a compass. Every time you ignore it, you drift farther away from yourself. Sometimes the signs come as repetition. The same mistake, the same disappointment, the same kind of pain. That is not coincidence, that is curriculum. You are being taught a lesson that you refuse to learn the first time. The universe doesn't punish, it repeats. It will repeat the same situation with different faces until your awareness shifts. Once you understand, the repetition ends. That's how divine education works. But until then, the weight of unlearned lessons sits on your shoulders. That is the burden you carry when you ignore the signs. And yet, in all this, God is patient. He never removes the lesson without first offering understanding. He keeps giving chances. Even when you lose your way, He still sends signals. They appear as coincidences too strong to be random. A stranger's words that echo what you needed to hear. A dream that feels too real. A sudden inner knowing that something has to change. These are not accidents. These are alignments. The divine speaks through everything, through pain, through peace, through people, through timing. You just have to learn how to listen not with your ears, but with your being. You see, the biggest illusion is thinking that ignoring the signs makes the truth disappear. It doesn't. It only delays your alignment. Truth waits. It does not chase. It simply holds its ground until you return to it. And the longer you delay, the heavier life feels, because you are carrying the weight of resistance. Every time you say, "I'll change later," you add another layer of delay. Every time you silence your inner voice to please the world, you bury your own peace deeper. And every time you act against what your soul knows is right, you create inner conflict. That conflict becomes anxiety, confusion, and pain. Not because life is cruel, but because you are out of tune with your higher self. The divine wants harmony within you, not chaos. But harmony requires awareness. Awareness requires honesty. And honesty requires courage. The courage to look at your patterns and admit, "I've been ignoring what's been obvious all along." Many people don't lack signs, they lack humility to accept them. When the truth hurts, they call it negativity. When someone corrects them, they call it criticism. When God blocks something, they call it misfortune. This is how people stay stuck, by refusing to see guidance as grace. Every warning is an act of love. It means the divine still believes in your capacity to awaken. It means you are still being given time. When God says, "This is my second last warning," it's not a threat, it's mercy dressed in urgency. It means that consequences are approaching, but transformation is still possible. It means that the doors are not yet closed, but they soon will be if you keep pretending you can't hear. There is a price for ignoring signs. That price is peace. You may still have success, but it will feel empty. You may still smile, but it won't be real. You may still have people around you, but your soul will feel alone, because you cannot fake alignment. You can fake confidence, fake control, fake happiness, but you cannot fake peace. And peace is the first thing to leave when you resist divine direction. It is the quiet indicator that something within you needs to change. God's signs are everywhere. Sometimes they are soft, like a feeling that won't go away. Sometimes they are sharp, like a loss you didn't expect. Sometimes they come through people who challenge you, who mirror your wounds, who force you to confront parts of yourself you've been avoiding. But every sign points toward awakening. It says, "Pay attention. This is where growth begins." The burden of ignoring signs is that you end up living in cycles that feel endless. You keep reliving the same emotional storm in different seasons. You keep meeting the same type of person in a different body. You keep chasing the same validation in different ways. And each time it hurts more, because your soul knows the truth, but your habits keep betraying it. The divine will not let you rest in false comfort forever. He will allow temporary comfort to collapse so that permanent peace can begin. That collapse is mercy, even though it feels like pain. When you finally get tired of suffering, when you finally get tired of pretending, you don't see the signs. You will begin to surrender, and that surrender will feel like relief. It will feel like finally exhaling after holding your breath for years. Because the moment you accept the message, the struggle stops. Not because the situation changes, but because your awareness does. The same truth that once felt painful now feels freeing. That's the power of seeing what was always there. But you must understand, God's patience is not endless in opportunity. There comes a moment when the lesson must become reality. The second last warning means you are approaching that moment. It means that your choices are about to bear fruit, whether good or bad. You can either plant awareness now or harvest regret later. The choice is always yours. The divine will not force awakening upon you. He will simply remove everything that distracts you until you realize that listening was always easier than resisting. When people ignore divine signs, they often justify it with logic. They say, "It doesn't make sense yet." But faith often doesn't make sense until after it's lived. The signs aren't meant to make sense to your intellect, they're meant to be recognized by your spirit. You don't reason with intuition, you recognize it. And once you recognize it, you act. Not because you're sure, but because you trust. That trust is the bridge between divine warning and divine blessing. The burden of ignoring signs is not only personal, it affects everything around you. When you resist growth, you also delay the healing of those connected to you. Your energy affects others. Your denial spreads confusion. Your awareness, when awakened, becomes a light for many, but when dimmed, it keeps others lost too. That's why divine warnings come to individuals but impact generations. God corrects one person to guide many. When you listen, you don't only save yourself, you save others from repeating your mistakes. And so, the next time you feel something telling you, this path is wrong, listen. The next time you feel drained after spending time with someone, honor that feeling. The next time something doesn't flow, stop forcing it. Resistance is not always a test, sometimes it's protection. When doors close, don't keep knocking out of pride. Trust that divine timing is never late, and divine rejection is often redirection. The signs are not against you, they are for you. They are the language of love written in the rhythm of your life. When you learn to listen early, life becomes lighter. You no longer need pain to teach you. Peace begins to guide you. You begin to move not by fear, but by flow. And that's the goal of every warning, to bring you back to flow, to harmony, to alignment. God doesn't want obedience out of fear, He wants awareness out of love. Because love listens. Love pays attention. Love doesn't need to be shouted at to understand what is sacred. So if you are hearing this now, and something within you feels that this message is personal, don't ignore it. Don't overthink it. Just listen. The divine has already been showing you signs in your life. Maybe in the things that are falling apart. Maybe in the peace that has disappeared. Maybe in the restlessness that keeps you awake at night. That restlessness is not random. It is your higher self knocking from the inside, saying, something must change. The longer you ignore it, the heavier you'll feel. But the moment you decide to pay attention, everything begins to shift. You start to see connections where before you saw chaos. You start to feel peace even when circumstances haven't changed. Because now you're aligned with truth, and truth always brings clarity. The signs never stop, they only become clear to those who choose to see. So pause, reflect. Don't let life keep repeating the same lessons in louder forms. Every time you delay listening, you make the message harder to bear. But if you listen now, quietly, humbly, honestly, you can transform pain into purpose before pain has to deepen. The burden of ignoring the signs is real, but so is the peace that follows awareness. The choice has always been yours. The signs were never hidden. They were only waiting for your eyes to open. And once you open them, you will realize that everything that went wrong was guiding you right back to where you belong. The divine never stops speaking. You simply stopped listening. But you can start again, right here, right now, before the next warning becomes the final one. Because once the lesson becomes reality, silence may no longer call softly, it may call through consequences. Listen before that happens. Listen now. That is how the burden becomes blessing. That is how awareness begins. There is a sacred moment in every life when everything becomes still, when the noise of the world fades, and only one question remains: what am I becoming? That moment, silent yet powerful, is the space between endings and beginnings. It is the moment before transformation. It often arrives disguised as confusion, as fatigue, as uncertainty. But beneath its quiet disguise, something divine is unfolding. God is not punishing you, He is preparing you. He is breaking apart the shell that no longer fits who you are, so that the soul within can breathe again. When you stand in that moment, it feels like standing between two worlds. the world you've known and the one you cannot yet see. One foot still clings to the familiar, the other trembles before the unknown. You sense that something must change, but you do not yet know what or how. This is where transformation begins, not in clarity, but in surrender. Because transformation is not a project you complete, it is a process you allow. It is the unfolding of the divine plan that has been waiting for your trust. The human heart fears transformation because it requires loss. To become something new, something old must dissolve. You must release habits, identities, expectations that once defined you. And yet, this release feels like death. The ego mourns what the spirit celebrates. That mourning is sacred. It is the sound of growth. When God says, "This is my second last warning," He is reminding you that the season of delay is closing, that the time for half-truths and half-growth has ended. You can no longer live in fragments. You must decide which world you belong to, the one of fear or the one of faith. Transformation always begins with discomfort. Nothing beautiful is born in comfort. The seed must break before it sprouts. The caterpillar must dissolve before it flies. And you, too, must go through your own sacred breaking. The divine will not destroy you. It will dismantle what you were never meant to be. It will strip away false strength so that real strength can emerge. It will remove false peace so that true serenity can take its place. It will take away people and places that can no longer vibrate at your new frequency. This is not cruelty, this is cleansing. Every loss in the season before transformation is an act of divine mercy. Many people mistake this breaking for punishment. They say, "Why is everything falling apart?" But the truth is, nothing is falling apart. Everything is falling into place. You prayed for growth, you asked for alignment, you begged for clarity. But growth requires pruning, alignment requires rearranging, and clarity requires emptiness. God is simply answering your prayer in a way your comfort zone doesn't recognize. When the transformation begins, the old energy resists. You will feel pulled in two directions. Part of you wants to move forward, but another part wants to hold on. This inner tug of war is the battle between destiny and habit. Destiny whispers, "There's more for you." Habit says, "But this is what I know." And if you listen closely, you'll realize that habit speaks the language of safety, but destiny speaks the language of truth. Safety can protect you, but only truth can free you. To transform, you must choose freedom over familiarity. Transformation is rarely dramatic. It happens in quiet decisions repeated daily. It's when you stop reacting to everything that offends you. It's when you start responding from peace instead of pride. It's when you wake up and choose awareness over autopilot. These small shifts may seem insignificant, but they are the sparks that ignite lasting change. The divine doesn't expect perfection, only participation. Every time you choose presence over distraction, honesty over denial, faith over fear, you participate in your own evolution. There is a mysterious silence that comes before every transformation. It feels like loneliness, but it's actually recalibration. God isolates you not to harm you, but to reintroduce you to yourself. He removes the noise so that you can hear your own soul again. The people who once understood you may no longer understand you, not because they changed, but because you are outgrowing the conversation. This loneliness is not emptiness, it's expansion. Space must be created for the new self to breathe. So if you find yourself alone, misunderstood, detached, don't rush to fill the silence. Sit in it. The silence before transformation is sacred soil. Seeds grow there. You might not see results immediately. The caterpillar doesn't know that its dark cocoon will soon open to light. It only knows it can't go back to crawling. So it waits, trusting a process it doesn't understand. That is what faith looks like during transformation. Trusting what you cannot see. Your cocoon moments are not punishment. They are protection. God hides you to rebuild you. He hides you from what would distract you, from what would drain you, from what would destroy the version of you he's forming. The hidden season is holy. Don't rush it. In this in-between space, your emotions will fluctuate. Some days you'll feel certain, other days you'll doubt everything. That's okay. Even doubt can serve transformation when you don't let it control you. Every question is an invitation to deeper understanding. Every delay is a lesson in patience. Transformation doesn't ask for speed, it asks for surrender. And surrender is not giving up. It's giving over. It's handing your plans back to the source that wrote them long before you were born. You may notice that things that once satisfied you no longer do. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. The pleasures that once distracted you now feel meaningless. This emptiness is not depression, it's detox. Your spirit is cleansing itself from what no longer resonates. Let the emptiness do its work. Don't rush to fill it with noise. Transformation is the process of unlearning false joy so that true joy can be recognized. The moment before transformation often feels heavy because your old energy is dying. You are shedding skins that once felt like home, but you cannot enter a new season wearing the clothes of the old one. Every rebirth requires shedding, so let it happen. Cry if you must, rest if you must, but don't run backward, because behind the pain there is purpose. Behind the endings there is evolution. God's second last warning is not a threat. It's an act of love saying, do not miss this shift. Transformation is already happening, but awareness determines whether it becomes growth or chaos. If you resist, the change will still happen, but it will hurt. If you surrender, it will still stretch you, but it will bless you. The choice is never between change and no change, it is between conscious and unconscious change. Either way, life moves. The wise choose to move with it. The divine is always sculpting you. Every loss chisels pride, every delay polishes patience, every disappointment refines faith. Nothing is wasted. Even the mistakes you regret have been used to carve humility and wisdom into your character. The artist never despises the marble. He shapes it until the form within is revealed. That's what transformation really is. God revealing what was always inside you. During this process, trust becomes your anchor. When everything seems uncertain, when plans collapse, when answers hide, hold on to trust. Trust that your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust that every tear is watering new growth. Trust that even in silence, heaven is at work. The unseen is often more active than the visible. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is actually shifting beneath the surface. Many people give up just before their breakthrough. They interpret silence as abandonment, when it's actually incubation. The seed underground feels the pressure of soil before it feels the light of sun. Don't mistake pressure for punishment. The weight you feel is proof of potential. God only presses on what he plans to raise. If he's applying pressure, it's because there's power hidden in you that needs to rise. Transformation will test your patience. It will ask you to stay gentle while everything within you wants to rush. But rushing breaks what patience builds. God works in rhythms, not deadlines. You cannot microwave enlightenment. You must allow the process to unfold naturally. The river doesn't force its flow. It moves with gravity, trusting the path carved for it. You too must flow with the current of divine timing. At some point, you will notice subtle signs of rebirth, moments of unexpected peace, insights that come like light in darkness, small synchronicities that confirm you're on the right path. These are glimpses of the new you emerging. Don't doubt them. Nurture them. The moment before transformation always carries hints of what's coming next, but only the attentive notice them. And then, slowly, you'll realize that what you thought was breaking you was actually opening you. You'll notice that the tears softened you, that the losses made you lighter, that the silence strengthened your intuition. The very pain you resented becomes the foundation of your peace. This is the mystery of divine transformation. It turns wounds into wisdom, endings into evolution, and warnings into awakenings. You will know transformation has begun when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That question marks the shift from victimhood to consciousness. It means you no longer see life as happening to you, but through you. That is maturity, the awareness that even challenges serve the plan. In the moment before transformation, fear will whisper that you are not ready. But readiness is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move despite it. Courage is not loud, it's quiet faith. It's the soft voice inside that says, "I don't know what's coming, but I trust who's guiding me." The universe honors such faith. Once you take one honest step toward growth, life moves 10 steps toward you. Doors open, paths align, strength appears. Because transformation rewards participation, not perfection. When you cross that invisible line between resistance and surrender, something incredible happens. You begin to see beauty even in what you don't understand. You begin to thank the pain that shaped you. You begin to feel gratitude for delays that once frustrated you. Gratitude becomes your vision, and that vision changes everything. Gratitude turns warning into wisdom, chaos into clarity, and then, without realizing it, you'll wake up one day and feel lighter. The world will still be the same, but you won't be. What used to trigger you will no longer touch you. What used to scare you will now strengthen you. The same silence that once felt empty will now feel full of presence. That's the sign of transformation completed, when what once broke you now builds you. But remember, transformation is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong rhythm. You will enter many cocoons in your journey. Each time, the divine will call you higher, deeper, freer. Each time, you will be invited to release a layer of who you were to reveal more of who you are. The warnings will come whenever you begin to drift. They are not punishments, they are reminders that growth never ends. So if you feel that you are in that moment now, in the silence, in the uncertainty, in the in-between, do not fear it. You are not being forgotten. You are being formed. The divine hand is shaping you into something stronger, softer, wiser. Let it happen. Trust it. Flow with it. Transformation is not found in running away from what hurts. It's found in walking through it with awareness. The moment before transformation is holy ground. It is where your old self bows to make space for your true self. It is where fear turns into faith, confusion into clarity, endings into new beginnings. And when you finally step through that invisible doorway, you will look back and realize that every warning was mercy. Every tear was instruction, every silence was protection. You will thank God not for making the path easy, but for making it meaningful. You will understand that the moment before transformation was not the end. It was the beginning of becoming who you were always meant to be. So breathe deeply. Stand still. Feel the weight of this sacred transition. Let go of what you cannot carry into the next season. Open your hands. Open your heart. The transformation has already begun. And when you surrender to it, you will finally see that nothing was ever breaking you. It was all preparing you to rise. There is always a whisper before the storm, a message that comes softly before life raises its voice. When God says, "This is your final warning," it does not come to frighten you. It comes to awaken you. Because before every ending, there is a signal. And before every transformation, there is discomfort. Look around your life right now. The signs have always been there. The uneasiness in your spirit, the tension in your relationships, the delay in your goals. These are not punishments, they are messages. But when we choose to ignore the whispers, the universe begins to speak louder. It shakes the ground beneath us not to destroy us, but to remind us that we are off balance. The final warning of October is not about fear. It is about realignment. It is about returning to what you already knew but have been avoiding. You know what needs to change. You know what you have postponed. You know the truth that your heart keeps repeating. And now the message is clear. The time to act is now. Do not wait for another sign. This is it. This is your wake-up call from the universe. If you keep walking blindly into the same mistakes, you will meet the same pain. But if you stop, breathe, and listen, you will finally see what God has been trying to tell you all along. Your growth cannot wait any longer. There are moments in life when the world around you goes silent, and yet, something inside of you starts to speak. It's not the voice of logic, nor the noise of emotion. It's something deeper, something sacred. That voice is not random. That silence is not empty. It is the language of the universe. Before life ever shakes you, it whispers to you. Before God ever warns you loudly, He tries gently to reach your heart. But the problem is, we rarely listen to the silence. We only respond when things start to fall apart. And by the time we do, the whisper has turned into a storm. You see, when the universe wants to change your direction, it doesn't send a thunder first. It sends a subtle discomfort. A small unease that keeps you awake at night. That tension in your chest when you're doing something that doesn't align with your spirit. That tiredness you feel when you're surrounded by people but still feel unseen. These are the whispers, the soft warnings that something needs to change. But we live in a world addicted to noise. We drown the silence with distractions. We silence the truth with excuses. We call it business, but often it's avoidance. And when you avoid the whisper long enough, the whisper transforms into a shout. That's when relationships break suddenly, when plans collapse without warning, when health declines without explanation. It's not life being cruel, it's life trying to wake you up, because the universe will never let you destroy yourself quietly. God said, "This is the final warning of October." What does that mean? It means you've already been shown the signs. The energy around you has been shifting. People have come and gone. Opportunities that once felt right now feel heavy. You've been sensing this change for weeks, maybe months, but part of you hoped it would disappear. You wanted the feeling to fade so you could stay comfortable. But that's not how growth works. Growth begins when comfort ends. And so, the silence you ignored has now become a message you can no longer overlook. This is not to scare you, it's to awaken you. Every time you feel something is falling apart, remember, it might actually be falling into place. The divine order often looks like chaos at first. You lose things not because you are cursed, but because you are being cleared. You are being prepared for what you prayed for. But the problem is, many of us pray for blessings and resist the process that brings them. We want change without challenge, evolution without discomfort, answers without silence. Yet the universe doesn't operate on our preferences. It operates on truth, and truth will always find a way to be heard, even if it means shaking your world to do so. When God sends a final warning, it means you have reached a spiritual threshold. It means the lesson you've been avoiding is about to repeat in a louder form. It means the door you refuse to close will now be closed for you. The job, the relationship, the mindset, whatever it is that no longer serves your evolution, will start to crumble. Not as punishment, but as purification, because sometimes what feels like an ending is just a divine interruption. Sometimes the silence before the storm is the most merciful part of it. It gives you one last chance to act before life acts for you. Ask yourself this: what have I been ignoring? What truth have I silenced because it's uncomfortable? What part of me knows it's time to move, but keeps pretending it's not ready? That's where the whisper lives. It's not outside, it's within you. And until you listen, you'll keep feeling restless, because the soul never stops seeking alignment. You can distract the mind, but you can't deceive the spirit. It knows, it always knows. There is something powerful about realizing that silence is not the absence of communication. It's the highest form of it. The universe doesn't need to shout when you are aligned. It only raises its voice when you've gone too far from your path. So, if life is getting louder, if the pressure is rising, if the signs are everywhere, that's not a coincidence. That's guidance. And the moment you stop running from it, you start understanding it. The final warning of October is an opportunity. It's a sacred moment where you are being invited to pause and listen before life forces you to stop. Maybe you've been overworking and listening. Maybe you've been speaking too much and feeling too little. Maybe you've been chasing goals that no longer reflect your true self. The silence around you isn't empty. It's pregnant with meaning. It's asking you, who are you becoming? Is this the life you really want? Are you proud of what you are choosing daily? So many people live as if time is unlimited. They keep saying, I'll change tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll leave when it's the right time. But there is no perfect time. There is only now. That's why the universe warns you, because it knows procrastination is the greatest thief of destiny. Every day you delay your transformation, you drift further from who you are meant to be. And when God says final warning, He's saying, I love you too much to watch you keep wasting your potential. The truth is, silence is sacred. When life goes quiet, that's when your soul speaks loudest. It tells you what no one else can. It reveals what no mirror can reflect. But to hear it, you must slow down. You must make space for stillness. Not the kind of stillness that comes from exhaustion, but the kind that comes from awareness. Sit in that silence. Breathe deeply. Feel the unease. Don't escape it. Study it. Because hidden in that unease is the direction you've been praying for. We often think God's messages come through miracles, but more often they come through tension, through delays that protect us, through endings that redirect us, through solitude that refines us. So when things seem uncertain this month, don't panic. Pay attention. Life is not falling apart. It's shifting you into a higher state of alignment. The silence that once scared you will one day become your strength, because you will realize it was never emptiness. It was preparation. The whisper before the shout is mercy. The shout itself is grace. Even the storm is love in disguise, because everything that breaks you is only breaking what no longer belongs in your spirit. The pain is not punishment, it's purification. The silence before it was the universe giving you one more chance to change without chaos. But when we don't act, life steps in. And life doesn't negotiate when your growth is overdue. Think of a seed. Before it grows, it breaks. Before it rises, it's buried in darkness. But that darkness is not death. It's the beginning of life. The silence underground is the universe working unseen. And so it is with you. You might feel buried right now, lost or confused. But you are not buried. You are being planted. This final warning is your reminders. Don't fight the soil you're in. Trust the process, because soon the same silence that felt suffocating will become your foundation for strength. There comes a point where the old version of you can no longer survive in the new energy that's forming. That's what this warning is about. It's about shedding the layers of fear, doubt, and hesitation that have kept you small. It's about stepping out of survival mode and into creation mode. It's about remembering that every ending carries a seed of rebirth. But for that seed to grow, you must stop resisting the silence and start listening to it. The next time life feels quiet, don't rush to fill the space. Sit with it. That quiet moment might be your turning point. It might be God's way of saying, this is your chance to realign before I have to rearrange. Because make no mistake, if you do not listen to the whisper, life will speak louder. And if you do not respond to the gentle nudge, the universe will use force. But that force is not against you, it's for you. It's life ensuring that you don't settle for less than what you were created for. So what will you do with this silence? Will you numb it, ignore it, run from it? Or will you embrace it as the teacher it truly is? The silence before the storm is your classroom. Every quiet ache, every uncertain pause, every unspoken thought is a lesson waiting to be understood. Listen to it. Write about it. Pray through it. Because the sooner you listen, the softer life becomes. The sooner you act, the fewer storms you will need. When Shi Heng Yi speaks of awareness, he reminds us, the lesson repeats until it's learned. The silence repeats until it's heard. And the pain repeats until it's healed. So maybe this final warning of October is not a threat, it's a threshold. You are being invited to rise above the old and step into the new, to move with purpose instead of fear, to trust your inner knowing more than your outer circumstances. You are not lost. You are not late. You are being guided. Every delay, every silence, every pause, it's divine orchestration. The only question is, are you listening? Because the universe is speaking, and it's speaking now. Through the stillness of your nights, through the heaviness of your thoughts, through the patterns that keep repeating. The message is clear: your time to awaken is now. Your time to listen is now. Your time to act is now. This is not just another month. This is a spiritual crossroad. The final warning of October is not about fear of what's coming. It's about faith in what's unfolding. You can resist the message and face the storm, or you can embrace the silence and find peace before it comes. The choice, as always, is yours. Because God does not shout to scare you. He whispers to prepare you. And when you finally understand that, you'll realize the silence was never your enemy. It was your greatest teacher. Listen before it's too late, because the universe has already spoken. Now, it's your turn to respond. There comes a moment in every person's life when they feel the pull of something greater than themselves, a subtle invitation from the universe to evolve beyond what is familiar. It begins quietly, an urge to leave behind old habits, old circles, old versions of who you thought you were. But with that invitation comes fear, and with fear comes resistance. You tell yourself, not yet, I'm not ready. Maybe next month, next year, after things calm down. Yet life never calms down. Life only keeps moving. And the longer you resist that movement, the further you drift from the current of your own destiny. Change has never been the enemy. The real enemy is our attachment to what is safe. You say you want a new beginning, but you keep watering the same garden that has already withered. You pray for growth, but refuse the rain because it's uncomfortable. You ask for a door to open, but stand frozen when it does, afraid to step through it because it leads to the unknown. And so, the cycle repeats. Same patterns, same mistakes, same pain wrapped in different faces. This is how we delay our destiny, not by lack of opportunity, but by lack of courage to accept the opportunities disguised as endings. When God says, "This is your final warning," it's not a threat, it's a mirror. He's showing you the places in your life where you've chosen comfort over calling, repetition over revelation. Look closely at what you keep running back to, even though it drains you. The conversations that no longer feed your spirit, the habits that steal your focus, the environments that make you shrink instead of rise. These are not coincidences, they're lessons you keep postponing. And every time you postpone change, you postpone the life waiting for you beyond it. Have you noticed how the body reacts when you stay in situations that no longer align with your spirit? You feel tired for no reason, anxious without cause, uninspired even when things seem fine. That's not depression. That's your inner being protesting against stagnation. You were designed to evolve. Every cell in your body regenerates. Every sunrise brings renewal. But we, with our fears, try to stop the natural flow of transformation. We hold on to what's dying because we fear the emptiness that follows letting go. Yet that emptiness is not death, it's sacred space for rebirth. When Shi Heng Yi teaches about awareness, he reminds us that resistance is the greatest cause of suffering. The pain is not in the change itself, it's in your refusal to move with it. Life will always change, seasons will shift, people will outgrow you, and your own desires will evolve. You can either dance with that rhythm or be dragged by it. The choice is always between surrender and struggle. When you surrender, you move with grace. When you struggle, you learn through chaos. Either way, life will teach you what you need to know. Think about every time you have grown. It never came from moments of ease. It came from losing something you thought you couldn't live without. It came from walking away even when your heart begged you to stay. It came from facing fears that once paralyzed you. Change doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal what's been hidden beneath the surface. Like a sculptor chiseling marble, life removes what is unnecessary so that your true form can emerge. The process hurts, yes, but only because we identify with the marble instead of the masterpiece. Imagine you are standing before two paths. One is known. It feels safe because you've walked it many times before. You know every stone, every corner, every shadow. The other path is shrouded in mist. You can't see where it leads, only that something inside you feels drawn to it. Most people choose the first path because the mind fears uncertainty more than it fears stagnation. But destiny never lives in the known. It lives in the mystery. It hides in the fog, waiting for the brave to step forward without seeing the whole way. If you wait for perfect clarity, you will wait forever. The bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be only appears after you start walking. When God sends signs, He doesn't always give explanations. Sometimes He just gives a push, a sudden change in circumstances, a loss, a conflict, a closed door. It feels unfair at first, but later you realize it was alignment in disguise. You were being redirected, not rejected. The delay was protection. The loss was liberation. The rejection was guidance. The problem is, when we resist, we see only the pain, not the purpose. We fight what's actually helping us evolve. Think of a river. When it flows, it meets rocks and obstacles. But the river never stops. It doesn't argue with the stones or turn back to where it began. It keeps flowing, adapting, finding new routes. That's how it reaches the ocean. Your destiny is the same. The obstacles are not there to block you. They're there to shape you. But when you resist change, you build a dam in your own soul. You stop the flow of divine energy that's trying to carry you forward. You become heavy, stagnant, resentful. And then you wonder why everything feels stuck. It's because you are holding on to what was instead of embracing what is becoming. There is a divine rhythm in all things. Day turns to night. Winter becomes spring. The moon waxes and wanes. Nothing in the universe fears transformation, except humans. We cling to permanence in a world built on change. But permanence doesn't exist. Everything that stays too long becomes decay. Even love must evolve to stay alive. Even faith must deepen through experience. When God sends His final warning, it's not because He wants to take something from you. It's because He wants to take you somewhere higher, and you can't reach it carrying old weight. You might say, "But I'm scared. I don't know what's next." That fear is natural, but remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's movement despite fear. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You only need to take the first step. The same energy that guided you this far will continue to guide you forward. The same God who opened the door will also light the path. But you must move. You cannot evolve by standing still. The universe rewards movement. The moment you take that first step, unseen forces begin to align in your favor. Help arrives. Clarity appears. Synchronicities unfold. But all of that comes after action, never before it. Too many people pray for signs, yet ignore them when they come. They say, "God, give me a new life," and then argue with the opportunities that require them to leave the old one. They pray for strength but run from situations that demand it. They ask for peace but cling to chaos because chaos feels familiar. This is why change feels painful, because we confuse familiarity with safety. But what's familiar isn't always safe. Sometimes it's just habitual suffering. The soul doesn't seek comfort, it seeks truth. And truth, by its nature, dismantles illusions. That's why awakening often feels like loss before it feels like liberation. When you resist change, life will repeat its lessons louder and louder until you listen. The same type of person will enter your life under a different name. The same challenges will appear in new forms. Not because you are unlucky, but because the universe is compassionate. It will keep giving you opportunities to learn until you do. The warning of October is this: stop repeating what no longer serves you. Stop negotiating with your old self. The cost of your destiny is your comfort zone. You cannot carry both. Sometimes, people leave not because they are bad, but because their chapter in your story is complete. Sometimes, a dream collapses not because you failed, but because your spirit has outgrown it. Sometimes, your plans fall apart to make space for something your imagination could not yet conceive. The ego mourns, but the soul celebrates. Because deep down, the soul knows, change is not loss, it's evolution. You are shedding who you were to become who you were meant to be. There's a story of a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. A man, watching it struggle, decides to help by cutting the cocoon open. The butterfly escapes easily, but its wings are weak, and it can't fly. The struggle was necessary to strengthen its wings. The same is true for you. The resistance you feel in change is not punishment. It's preparation. It's teaching you resilience, faith, surrender. If everything came easy, you'd never develop the strength to hold what you're asking for. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" The answer to that question transforms pain into wisdom. The final warning of October carries urgency because the universe is accelerating. Energy is shifting faster now. What you tolerate will either elevate or eliminate you. If you keep resisting, the pressure will increase. But if you align, the path will unfold smoothly. It's not about perfection, it's about willingness. Are you willing to let go of the version of yourself that can't go where you're headed? Are you willing to trust the unknown, even when it scares you? That willingness is what turns warning into awakening. In martial arts, a master often says to his student, "Be like water." Because water never resists, it adapts. It can crash, it can flow, it can become steam or ice. Yet it always remains itself. That's the wisdom of change. You do not lose yourself by evolving, you discover deeper layers of yourself. The person you were last year was necessary to bring you here. The person you're becoming is necessary to take you there. Each version of you is a bridge to the next. Don't stop building the bridge because you fear the crossing. One day you'll look back and realize every painful ending was divine timing. Every detour was a shortcut in disguise. Every no was protection. And you'll thank God for not giving you what you thought you wanted. Because had you received it, you would have settled for less than your potential. But you'll only see that in hindsight. For now, you must walk by faith, not by sight. Trust the process even when it's uncomfortable. The storm you fear is clearing your path. The silence you avoid is guiding your steps. So, when you feel life pushing you out of your comfort zone this October, don't resist. Don't run back to what's familiar just because it's easy. That chapter has ended. Let it end gracefully. Stand tall in the uncertainty, because in that very moment, destiny is aligning with you. The future you desire is already reaching back, waiting for you to say yes. Say yes, even trembling. Say yes, even unsure. Say yes, because your soul already knows where you're meant to go. Remember, resistance delays destiny. Surrender activates it. The universe does not reward stubbornness, it rewards alignment. Every time you let go of control, something miraculous happens. Life begins to flow again. Opportunities appear, energy returns, peace replaces anxiety. You realize that change was never the enemy. It was always the path home to yourself. So, if you hear the whisper in your heart saying, "It's time," don't ignore it this time. This is not another warning to file away in your mind. This is your call to rise. The final warning of October is not about punishment. It's an invitation to step into the next chapter with courage, faith, and surrender, because destiny is not waiting for next year, next month, or next week. Destiny is waiting for the moment you stop resisting and start moving. That moment can be now. Let go, move forward, trust what you cannot yet see. Because the same divine hand that shakes your world is the one that's guiding your steps. When you surrender to change, you don't lose control, you gain alignment. And once you are aligned, nothing can stop what is meant for you. The warning becomes wisdom, the storm becomes peace, and the unknown becomes home. There comes a point in life when you must look in the mirror and stop blaming the reflections around you for the cracks that appear. You must stop pointing outward and start looking inward. Because at some point, the lesson stops being about who hurt you, who left you, or who misunderstood you. It becomes about what you allowed, what you ignored, and what you refused to change. Accountability is not punishment, it is power. It is the bridge that takes you from warning to wisdom, from reaction to realization, from being asleep in your life to being fully awake within it. When God gives a final warning, He is not scolding you. He is offering clarity. He is saying, "You already know what to do, but you're pretending you don't." The signs have been given, the lessons have been repeated, and now it's time to act. The problem is that we love to hold on to stories that make us feel like victims, because they excuse us from taking responsibility. We say, "I can't change because of what they did to me." But the truth is, what they did is no longer the issue. What you keep doing to yourself because of it, that's the real prison. Accountability breaks those chains. It says, "Yes, I was hurt, but I choose to heal. Yes, I was wrong, but I choose to rise." The most difficult conversation you will ever have is not with others. It's with yourself. It's the moment you ask, "What am I doing that keeps attracting this pain? What patterns am I repeating? What truths am I avoiding because they require me to grow?" These are questions most people run from, because to answer them means to face your own reflection without filters, without excuses, without denial. But that's exactly where transformation begins. The moment you stop hiding behind stories, the fog lifts. You begin to see the real cause of your suffering and the way out. Many people pray for wisdom, but few are willing to earn it. Wisdom is not a gift handed to you, it is a reward earned through accountability. You can meditate, pray, and read scriptures, but if you do not confront your habits, your words, your choices, you will stay in the same cycle. The universe does not operate on your prayers alone, it operates on your alignment. And alignment begins when your actions match your awareness. Accountability makes that alignment possible. You see, when God sends warnings, He doesn't do it to punish, He does it to guide. Every delay, every setback, every uncomfortable mirror in the form of another person, it's all feedback. The problem is, instead of reading the feedback, we react to it. We defend ourselves, justify our behavior, or blame others. And when we do that, we miss the very lesson that could free us. Accountability says, "What is this moment teaching me about me?" Because every challenge is a mirror. Every pain is a reflection. Every warning is an invitation to see yourself clearly. Shi Heng Yi often teaches that awareness without discipline is useless. You can be aware that you need to change, but if you never act on that awareness, it becomes spiritual entertainment. Accountability transforms awareness into discipline. It's what turns insight into action. You cannot expect new results with old behavior. You cannot ask for divine intervention while ignoring divine instruction. God is not withholding blessings. You are withholding obedience. And the bridge between what you know and what you experience is accountability. Think of your life as a garden. Every choice is a seed. Some seeds grow into flowers, others into thorns. But you cannot blame the soil if you plant it carelessly. Accountability is walking through that garden, looking at the thorns and saying, I planted this. Maybe I didn't know better then, but I do now. So today I choose differently. That's maturity. That's spiritual strength, not perfection, but honesty. The courage to admit, I was the one who watered what wounded me, and the wisdom to now plant something better. We live in a time where it's easy to project, easy to post about awareness but hard to practice it, easy to talk about energy but hard to manage your own, easy to quote wisdom but hard to live it daily. Accountability doesn't sound exciting because it doesn't flatter the ego, it humbles it. But that humility is where true freedom begins. When you stop defending your limitations, you create space for evolution. When you stop saying, this is just who I am, you give permission for your higher self to emerge. The final warning of October is not about external events, it's about internal responsibility. God is saying, you've seen enough signs, you've heard enough messages. Now it's your move. Life has already shown you who people are. It has already revealed what environments drain you, what habits delay you, what thoughts disempower you. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Accountability demands action. It says, I am responsible for how I respond. And that one shift, from blame to responsibility, changes everything. Imagine standing at a crossroads. On one side is comfort, where you can keep replaying the same stories, staying the same person, living in the same patterns. On the other side is change, uncomfortable but liberating, uncertain but necessary. Accountability is the bridge that lets you cross. Without it, you stay stuck, spiritually repeating your past under the illusion of progress. You can meditate for years, attend every retreat, repeat every affirmation. But if you keep choosing the same behavior, you'll keep manifesting the same life. Taking accountability means becoming conscious of your patterns. It means noticing when your reactions are automated, when your excuses are habitual, when your fear dresses itself as logic. It's when you catch yourself blaming someone and ask, what part of me allowed this dynamic to continue? It's when you stop waiting for an apology and start healing without one. It's when you stop saying, why me? And start saying, teach me. That is when warnings turn into wisdom, because you finally start using the lessons instead of running from them. There's a quiet strength that comes from accountability. It's not loud or defensive. It's calm and grounded. Because when you own your choices, no one can manipulate you with them. When you know you are responsible for your growth, you stop expecting others to carry it. You stop chasing validation because your self-respect becomes your compass. And that shift creates spiritual sovereignty. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a creator of direction. God doesn't expect perfection. He expects participation. Life is not asking you to never make mistakes. It's asking you to recognize when you do, to learn, and to rise again with more awareness. Accountability is the practice of aligning your actions with your truth over and over, even when you fall. Because falling is not failure, refusing to get up is. And the universe rewards honesty far more than it rewards appearance. When you are truthful with yourself, you become magnetic to divine guidance. Because truth vibrates higher than avoidance. Sometimes, accountability requires solitude. You have to step away from noise, from blame, from distraction, to really see yourself. You might lose people who prefer your old version, the one who tolerated more, complained more, and took less responsibility. But that's okay. Evolution always requires separation. The people who truly love your growth will respect your truth, even when it challenges them. Accountability might isolate you, but it also refines you. And once you've tasted that clarity, You'll never want to go back to confusion. This warning from the divine is not a punishment. It's an opportunity to graduate. You've been through enough cycles to know what no longer works. You've seen the pattern. You've felt the consequences. Now the lesson is asking to be lived, not just understood. Accountability is how you live it. It's how you close karmic loops, end repeating patterns, and finally step into peace. Because wisdom doesn't come from reading or hearing. It comes from integrating. You can't claim wisdom if your actions remain the same. Many people mistake accountability for guilt. They think taking responsibility means condemning themselves. But that's not true. Accountability is not self-blame, it's self-empowerment. It's saying, I may not have created every situation, but I always have a choice in how I respond. That mindset shifts everything, because when you realize your response creates your reality, you stop waiting for miracles. You become one. This October, as the energy intensifies and the universe sends its final warning, remember this: no external change will last if internal accountability is missing. You can change environments, people, even appearances, but if you don't change how you think, speak, and choose, the same problems will follow you. Accountability is the spiritual reset button. It's the moment you say, I am done running. I am done blaming. I am ready to see my own reflection and take responsibility for what I create. That declaration alone can shift the entire vibration of your life, because once you take accountability, the universe responds instantly, doors open. Peace returns, lessons stop repeating. Why? Because you finally learned what they were designed to teach. You are no longer reacting from old wounds. You are responding from awareness. You begin to attract people and opportunities that match your new frequency. That is what it means to turn warning into wisdom, to use the pain of the past as a teacher, not a prison. The master does not ask, why did this happen to me? The master asks, what part of me needed this lesson? Because he knows that every experience, whether joyful or painful, is an opportunity to refine the self. That's the essence of accountability. It's self-mastery in motion. When you reach that state, life no longer needs to warn you, because you have learned to listen before it shouts. You have learned to observe before it explodes. You have learned to correct your course before the universe has to do it for you. So, look at your life right now. Where are you waiting for someone else to change so you can be at peace? Where are you hoping for a sign instead of being the sign? Where are you still saying, someday, when you already know the answer is today? That is where accountability must enter. That is where the bridge begins. Because every time you choose honesty over ego, clarity over comfort, and growth over excuses, you are crossing that bridge, from ignorance to understanding, from reaction to mastery, from warning to wisdom. Remember, the same energy that created the lesson is also creating the way out. But it can only activate through your willingness to own your role. The moment you do, everything changes. You become a conscious participant in your evolution instead of a passive observer. And that's when life stops warning you and starts flowing with you. So as this season unfolds, take a moment to breathe deeply and speak to yourself with truth. Ask, what can I do differently today? What have I been avoiding? What needs my accountability, not my anger? And then act on it. Because God does not bless intention. He blesses execution. The wisdom you seek is already waiting on the other side of responsibility. And when you step onto that bridge fully, when you stop running from your own reflection, you will discover the greatest secret of all: you were never being punished. You were being trained. The warnings were never to scare you. They were to sculpt you. And the wisdom you prayed for was always inside you, waiting for the moment you finally said, it's on me. And because it's on me, I can change it. That is accountability. That is freedom. That is the bridge from warning to wisdom. And once you cross it, you never go back the same.